Hello and welcome back to the Estate and Consultancy Podcast. My name is Chris Webb. I'm here to help you have a better estate agency business. So today we are talking about raising fees, every estate agent's favorite and also worst topic all in one sentence. So we're going to talk about when you should to raise your fees and what the key metrics within your business that should be kind of flashing, that should be showing you now is the time to increase what I'm charging my clients at the moment, because there's a huge upside, as you might imagine, to charging your clients more and more for the services you provide. So let's look at the two big metrics that I would look at that are big flashing red lights in your business that say we should be charging more. So number one is your capacity as a business. Now, this is to say, when you get to the point where you're like, oh my God, I am so busy that if I see another house, I'm going to jump out the window. That is when you're at capacity in your business, when you're like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I've not had a lunch break. I'm working all the time. I'm absolutely manic. Why the hell did I go self-employed? It was much easier when I worked for Fox and Sons. Those sort of conversations are when you are absolutely at capacity. To give you an idea about where I see sort of the line in the sand for being at capacity, so you know whether it's a capacity issue or a inefficiency issue, I would see for a one person band, so let's say you're a single person working alone effectively. If you've got a sort of a slightly lower sort of unit model, so therefore you're kind of providing a higher service. So let's say you were dealing with higher end properties, for example, or you actually thought, actually, I just want to spend as much time as possible to really make sure I deliver a fantastic service to each one of my sellers. You'd probably look for sort of 10 properties for sale, 10 properties under offer. So sort of 20 properties in total to give you a rough idea. If you're looking to provide a good service, and nothing wrong with this in any way, shape, or form, a good service to your vendors and to sell a good amount of properties and be nice and busy, I would say sort of 15-15. So 15 for sale, 15 under offer. If you really want to push yourself and you really want to have a heart attack at the age of 25, 2020 is kind of, I would always see as pretty much the rev limiter for one person band. If you've got 20 properties for sale and 20 properties under offer, high five, you're doing a great job. And if you're doing anything above that, you get like a high 10 for myself because you are absolutely superhuman. So really well done, you. So we know those are where the rev limiters are in our business. So let's take the 15 and 15. Let's go for the Goldilocks option and go for the one between the two. So if we had 15 properties for sale, 15 properties under offer, we've got 30 units in total in our business. Great. Well, if number 31 want to start working with ourselves, great. Well, it's time to increase our fee because we've hit our capacity. And by increasing our fee, we're going to reduce the number of people that want to work with us because there are going to be certain people, one, two, three, four, five people out of those 30 in the future. They're going to turn around and go, actually, I'm not paying that extra money. I'll go to Joe Blogs to do it for 1% instead, sort of thing. And that's absolutely fine. Our business is there to make money, not to sell the most properties. So therefore, that is going to reduce the number of properties we take on the market. So let's say we go from 100% capacity down to 80% capacity because we've increased our fee. Well, great. Well, over time, that 80% capacity is going to get back up to 100 again. And as soon as you get to 15 and 15 at the new higher fee, well, congratulations. Guess what we're doing all over again? We're increasing our fee all over again. Now, I would do this in a gradual process. The temptation is to go, we're 1% today, we're 1.25% in a month's time, we're 1.5%, we're 1.75%, I'll bugger it with 2% sort of thing as quick as possible. Now, if you can do that, well done you. But I think that kind of structuring it, where you say, actually, over the next kind of month, 6 weeks or so, we'll kind of see where we get up to capacity wise. We might increase it by 0.1%. And then when that kind of settles in and that kind of the dust has settled there, great. Let's go to 1 point whatever percent. And then add an extra 1.1 of a percent every single time until you get to the point where people are starting giving you a little bit of pushback with regard to what you're charging. So that's how I'd see it. So number one is the capacity sort of angle of looking at it. So work out where your capacity is as a business. And when you reach capacity, put your fees up. If you're really over capacity, put your fees up in a big way. If you're just kind of just eking over what you think is kind of you can do, then put up by a little bit so you're more comfortable with it. Again, you can kind of eke these things out over time. You don't have to do it all in one go. The second thing I would look at is your conversion from market appraisal through to instruction. 100% conversion from market appraisal to instruction is a bad thing in your business. You are undercharging if you have a really high conversion on your market appraisal and you're leaving money on the table for you, unfortunately, in that situation. So industry standard 50%. So, one in three agents going out there, 50% of those should come on the market with yourself if you're doing a pretty darn good job with regard to valuing properties. That's kind of the line in the sand to kind of being in the right sort of ballpark. I would say as soon as you get to kind of like 60%, that is a big flashing red light to say, I can charge more to my homeowners than I am charging at the moment because I'm offering value on the table and they will pay it. You'll be amazed how easy it is to actually increase your fee. The biggest issues we talked about on other podcasts is actually your mindset around it yourself. So as soon as you just get that conversion rate, which you should monitor every month, every year, every quarter, so you should have a good idea kind of where you are sat today. As soon as that hits 60%, great, our fee's going up. Again, just 0.1% is fine, 0.2%, whatever you want to do, sort of thing, is absolutely fine, but it should be having an upward trajectory within your business. I want you to be the most expensive estate agent in your town rather than one who's running all over town for 0.75, half percent, whatever it may be. I'd much rather you had less listings but earned a lot more money every single time for those properties. That's a far, far, far better place to be in your business. So those are the two big rev limiters I'd look at. So number one is the capacity side of things, then it's time to increase your fee. The other part of it is your conversion from market appraisal through to instruction. Now, one thing I would look at in your business, now we've done a podcast on this before, is upfront fees. So if you start getting a bit of a pushback, I'm going to pick some nice round figures here. People start pushing you back at, I know, 1.5%. They start sort of wincing slightly and going, actually, that's now kind of towards the borderline limit of where we can afford in our local town. Cool. Well, let's add an upfront marketing cost on board with that as well. So therefore, we're making our instructions coming to the market cash positive. And the softcore version is that initial marketing money up front gets refunded on completion. The hardcore version of it is it's just another bit of money and it's 300 quid to get things going. And you also charge you 1.5%. And thank you very much. That equals 1.6% in total, whatever it may be. As a Brucey bonus, lots of agents or more and more agents out there at the moment are literally taking the payment for that on the market appraisal slash instruction appointment. People are getting sort of the square sort of payment counter sort of things. You go to your hairdresser, they've got one of those sort of things, those little square things where you just dab your phone in it sort of thing. Great. Do you want to get things up and running? Fantastic. Great. Do you want to do debit card or credit card? Fantastic. Great. It's 300 quid. Yeah, just press it on that little square. Great. That's all paid. Let's rock and roll with it. So therefore, there's no sort of waiting for your invoice to clear because they've literally paid you in the property. And what's even better for some homeowners, they can put it on their credit card, which for a lot of people counts as free money. So there you go, a good place to be with it. Right, so have a look at your business, see where you're up to with those rev limiters, and then look at the fee you are charging. I want you to be charging as much money as possible. Hope you have a fab day, and I'll catch you on the next podcast.